Once you get pretty good at working them in the round pen, it's a big benefit to take them outside and practice lunging in different places. So if you ever get in trouble on the trail, or they get way too much energy or start acting up or anything, you can get off and pull your lunge line out of your saddlebags and just work him a little bit. Of course, he's not actually working right now, but he is walking really calmly, so letting him do a little bit more of it. But if you ever get in a situation on the trail, it's a good tool to have your lunge line on you at all times in case something happens, and you can do something immediately about it. Trot. Get up. Yep. You can see he's not pulling on the lunge line, which is a good thing. He's got lots and lots of practice in the round pen doing this. Not as much outside of the round pen, which I'm going to start working on that a lot more, so they're good at it for you. Don't want them dragging you all over the place. He's being a little bit lazy today. Plus he knows I have a camera in my hand and don't have the rope or anything else to touch him on the butt with if I need to. Good boy. Woo. Good boy. Good boy. Come around. Good job. Sometimes he doesn't like to turn around. You gotta give him just a little tug on a lead rope sometimes. Wake him up and turn him around. Boy, come around. Good job. Okay, this is January 26th. I'm gonna just go through everything that I've done with Milo in the round pen. Just our little daily routine, and we'll kind of get to see what he does and what I do in relation to what he does. I always start out by just something calm, either just start off brushing them or start off walking and see if he'll follow you. It's a good indication of how closely he's going to pay attention to you and how much he's willing to work with you if he'll follow you around here. If he gets distracted like that, I'll just give him a little quiet kiss, and it usually kind of gets his attention back on me. Get up on my bucket pretty regular just to see how willingly he's going to stand here. If they have a lot of energy, sometimes you'll have to work them just a little bit if they don't want to stand. Seem distracted. But I always try to give them the opportunity to not have to do very much work in here. sometimes they can be a little bit pulley with this back leg, so I always try to make a point to get him to just set it down gently instead of trying to pull it away from you. Just kind of hold on to it for a second until he relaxes and puts it down like that. Seems to kind of loosen up his back leg a little bit. Now and then he'll want to kind of cut your path off when you go to one side or the other. See if he'll do it again. I'm working with him to just stay there and not get his head in your way. But every now and then he'll just kind of put his head right where you're trying to walk. And you just want to just move his head back out of the way and just constantly remind him that you don't need him to follow you when you try to go to one of his sides. He's still picking up the parking out thing. Every now and then he tries to wander in one direction or the other, like here. He knew what I was asking him to do, so I'm just going to make him walk around a little bit. He did it really well, but every now and then he'll act like he doesn't know what whoa means and want to keep on walking. He's the type of horse, I think, that likes getting some energy out. I think sometimes he likes to move around here, so he does things on purpose to get to. I always try to do as little high energy stuff with him as possible because he's like that. Every now and then I think he just has to kind of get it out of his system to be able to focus. get him to move, I just kind of point at his head and just go like this with my arm. Just you don't really need a whip anymore to get him to move. You know what I mean? When you get him to turn, I almost always say come around. Pretty much do it just on the word come in. Always give lots and lots of praise when he does the right thing. Okay, pause it. He has a tendency to blow out his stomach when you're tightening the girth up, so you want to do it several times before you get on. If he wants to move around sometimes when you're doing it, just put him back where he was to start with. He likes to move his feet. He decided to stay over there as I told him to come. He's going to work him around here a little bit. In really good shape right now, so to actually tire him out in here would take forever, so you don't want to create more energy as you're working with him. Like I'm telling him to move, but he's not doing it high energy. You just want him to listen to you at all times, but not get all wild and crazy. Lots of transitions in the round pen helps get their mind focused on you too. If you just do a whole lot of one direction, then they kind of fade out and don't really keep their attention on you. You just want them to pay very close attention for your next cue. And that will translate to your trail riding too. If you've got their undivided attention in here, they'll be a lot more attentive on the trail. So if you have a day in the round pen where he's just not paying attention and being resistant or got other things on his mind, just do a little bit more round penning until you have his attention. They have their days. Some days they do great. Some days they have other things on their mind. He knows what walk means too. If he's trotting, you tell him to walk, he should slow down to a walk and keep moving. Now's a good time to retighten your girth. Like, here's a good example of what I was saying. He tries to cut you off. Kind of grab a hold of his halter or put your hand right by his mouth, or he won't want to. Again. He tends to be a little bit protective of his right side for whatever reason. And only sometimes. When I get on them when they're parked out too, you always want to be really careful about how you sit in the saddle, because it kind of puts their back in a vulnerable position, so always try to sit down carefully. I broke my rule a second ago. You never want to get on without holding on to the reins. working a little bit more on flexing. Since he likes to move his feet, it's been a little bit of a challenge because he knows what I'm asking him to do, but he likes to turn around. Sometimes anyway. So sometimes you have to do a few circles before he settles back down and just flexes like you're asking him. He gets a little antsy when you get on him. That's what I've been doing more of this lately. Instead of turning in circles, sometimes that can just excite him. Started just making him bend his head around until he settles down. And you really never want to put your heels in his side. He's very sensitive on his sides. Really all it takes to get him to go is just a little click. Okay, Papa.